Hello world, from whichever time zone you're catching me from, my name is MD90. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notification to all so that you do not miss the uploads that come up. And the easiest way for you to navigate the channel is to head to the playlist. You'll find videos curated for you based on your interest. So if you're interested in the Kutika podcast, you'll find a playlist for that. For news and trends, there's a playlist for that. Exclusive with MD90, a bunch of playlists that are created based on your interest. So the easiest way to navigate the channel is head straight to the playlist and you'll find what you're here for. Consider becoming a member of the channel. Right next to the subscribe button is a join button. You click on the join button so that you can become a member of the channel. You support the team on the production and a number of things that we're doing here, and we appreciate that. Well, President Hakainde Hichilema, this to say, reported by the Real Times newspaper, says Sata's dream lives on. Hakainde Hichilema. President pledges to continue working with what late President believed in. So simply meaning what Sata was working on, is going to finish some of those projects. And then, so this was during the 10th memorial anniversary of the late President Michael Sata, where the current President Hakainde Hichilema was speaking. So if you remember, there was that split between the PF held a memorial at the Catholic Cathedral, the one that is next to the UN, and then the president and the rest of the family of the Sata family were at the Anglican Cathedral, the one that's just opposite the High Court there. So these are some of the images during the memorial. As you can see, former First Lady Christine Kaseva there, having a word with President Hakainde Hichilema. This was the time that they were heading to Memorial Park to lay wreath. So these are some of the images. And then obviously, Mtinta Hichilema, First Lady, standing out. Mtinta Hichilema is like the nuclear weapon that President Hakainde Hichilema has. She never engages in any, what do you call this, public disputes, public conversation, nothing. People have been appealing for a while. I remember Savoy Mboy saying, no, the First Lady needs a charity. Like if you remember, most of the First Ladies prior to the current First Lady, Mtinta Hichilema, would have some sort of charity. So if you remember Esther Lungu's charity and then do some charity works, obviously receiving funding from well-wishers and then things like that. Every First Lady had some sort of charity of some sort. So people have been insisting to say, you know, she needs some of that. But because it's things like that that put the First Ladies in the line of fire, where people can easily shoot at to say, no, either they were alleged to say you have misappropriated funds or you've done anything of that sort. But Mtinta Hichilema stayed away from that. At least from the knowledge that I have, she has not come up with any charity. She's not engaged in any, unless where she's just required, that's when you see her in public. So people, it's like one of those things where scarcity and absence make people crave for her. She carries herself in elegance, and then everyone is able to relate to her demeanor as a, pretty much she is a reflection of a typical Zambian woman. That's what it is. She carries that aura of a mother and stuff like that. So it's very rare that you get to see her in public like that, unless where it's required. So recently there was some spat, those allegations that were coming from State House, which were involving, what's the name, the former late president's daughter, what's her name, Chip, or should be Chip or something, Manawasa. Those allegations that were refuted and then were found to be false were being put towards the president. And then they were trying to implicate, everyone is trying, I've been trying to get a reaction from the First Lady, and they've never got that. She's never given them that. So the past couple of days, she's been very public. She had an event with the president, should have been the independence celebration. Her just simply walking from her house to the car. That video trended like nobody's been. Anyway, let's just say people like her. And then people are curious to get to know her, and then she does not give them that. She stays off the grid and only appears in public when it's required. So the recent days, she's given us the grace of us seeing her in public. So on the 24th of October, and the recent one this Monday at this memorial of Michael Sata, where she appeared. As you can see, also Mao Sampa decided not to attend the PF memorial that was held at the Catholic Church, and then was at the official one where the family was with his wife there in Chimunya. And then as you can see, Hichilema with former First Lady Christine Kaseva there embracing each other as they left church from that interaction. Just beautiful photos that came from this particular event. And then as you can see, President Hakainde interacting with Mao Sampa and greeting. This is now at Memorial Park after they had left the church service. And then if you can see, look at Nshumunya, Mao Sampa's wife and Mrs. Hichilema, there's some similarity. They look alike, almost like sisters. The smile is the same, and it's very interesting there. If you see, you have a look at this particular picture that I put up, where you see Nshumunya standing next to Mao Sampa, and then Hichilema just behind President Hakainde. Look at their smile; they look the same, almost as if they are sisters there. Great pictures came from this interaction. And then Stephen Masumba also made a cameo. He's been off the grid for a while. The last news that he made that was big should have been that scandal where it was alleged he had used fake papers for him to contest. And since then, he's been off the grid, really. So that's Stephen Masumba in the striped shirt there. And then this was President Hakainde living in the Anglican Cathedral of the Holy Cross, just at a roundabout there from the event. Beautiful photos there. So the president only brings out the First Lady when it's time to make a splash, and they always do. Well dressed and everything. Anyway, Hichilema is doing a great job as a First Lady. In as much as she's not involved in any of these charities as a typical thing, simply appearing when she needs to show up, that also makes people curious to want to see her more, want to know her, and then she simply takes a back seat. But otherwise, as reported, the news that were coming from the event, this was on the Phoenix News. President Hichilema honors late President Michael Sata's legacy. So President Hakainde Hichilema has honored the legacy of former President Michael Sata during the Requiem Mass held at Anglican Cathedral of the Holy Cross, marking 10th anniversary of Mr. Sata's passing. President Hichilema emphasized the importance of uniting Zambia, urging citizens to embody Mr. Sata's beliefs to avoid divisive conversations, especially on important days such as today, meant to honor former head of state. He has highlighted his own efforts alongside the late Mr. Michael Sata to try and unite Zambia beyond the political divide, further highlighting the success of the late president and other heads of state on which his incumbent government is building its own, he says. So this was reported by the Phoenix FM. And then this is when now they went to, this is Sata's gravesite. They call them mausoleums or something like that. So there's one for FTJ, Michael Sata, and Mwanawasa. I'm not sure if RB's place is also here. I'm yet to confirm that. So those are some of the images that you can see. That's former First Lady Christine Kaseva there. President Hakainde Hichilema with First Lady there. And some of the images from the church service that happened. And from the previous photo, you can see Mulenga Sata and the Sata family on the right, and then the president on the left there. More images. These are service chiefs from, that's Zambia Army, Zambia ZNS, Zambia Police, ZAF, And later on news was coming through, as reported by Emmanuel Mwamba, to say state against Catholic Church. So as you remember, earlier on, prior to the event that the Patriotic Front version, Edgar Lungu's version, was holding at the Catholic Church, the police had sealed off the place, and then obviously they later on let the mass take place. So this was the interaction between the police and the Archbishop of Lusaka, the Archbanda. So just in, authorities have allowed the 10th memorial service of the late former President Michael Sata to go ahead at the Cathedral of the Child Jesus. This was after both Archbishop Eric Banda and renowned Lusaka lawyer John Sangwa confronted the police, who had entered and sealed off the premises. The Patriotic Front is holding a memorial service at Pop Square, while government and Mr. Sata's family holding the 10th anniversary memorial church service at the Anglican Cathedral of the Holy Cross after the PF and government differed on the venue to hold the memorial church service. So, as you may be aware, Bishop Alec Banda and President Hakainde pretty much do not get along. That's the clear thing. So, I do not see how the president would have been comfortable to have Alec Banda do the mass in his presence, because he cannot predict what comes out of him. So, the president wasn't going to risk that, neither the people around the presidency. So, they opted to use the Anglican Cathedral church. But in as much as the argument that people are putting across to say Michael Sata wasn't Anglican, he was a Catholic, so why hold the mass there? Just you expect those politics coming through. And the president later on had this to say. This is the official statement coming from the president's platform. Says, today we join fellow citizens at the Anglican Cathedral of the Holy Cross and Embassy Park to commemorate the 10th memorial anniversary of the late His Excellency Michael Chilufya Sata, 5th President of the Republic of Zambia, who passed away on October 28th, 2014. Well, we are deeply grateful to the Sata family for allowing us as government to honor his memory with a befitting memorial service. Our administration remains committed to advancing development throughout the nation, building on the foundation laid by our past leaders. There is a time for everything, and today's time is time to celebrate, reflect, and remember President Sata's legacy, his effort to improve the lives of our people. May soul of our former president rest in eternal peace. Hakainde Hichilema, President of the Republic of Zambia, there he signs it off. So that's a statement that came from the head of state himself. And obviously images of him with the First Lady during the service there. She stood out, the First Lady there, as always. Anyway, it's not new. Anyway, that's the news, ladies and gentlemen. I was just updating you of what has happened, because a number of things have been happening recently. And if anything comes up, you're pretty sure you'll catch it on this platform. See you around.